Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to design a room using Amazon furniture. I'm sure you... Yes, I said that correctly. Amazon purchases. Today will be all about creating a living room from the house of Amazon. I wanted to create a space in the living room. I chose that specific area and to see what I could find on Amazon if I was only able to select from there. And actually I was kind of surprised. And just to let you know that all the pieces that I selected will be directly linked below in the description box. So every piece that I talk about is available down there. So one of the first things you guys need to do is, of course, measure the space out. You want to get those exact dimensions for the area so that you know exactly how many pieces of furniture can fit in this space. Second thing you want to do is, of course, if you can, create a layout, a room layout of that area. And there are some things online that I found that actually are free. They are not as extensive as the pros would use, but still I thought it was an overall great area to start. And it's just a simple basic plan. And one of my favorites was planyourroom.com. I'll also include a link for that down below also in the description box. So if you want, when you are planning a room, the first thing obviously you have to decide is your style direction, the style and feel that you want to lean towards. Now, we all have different styles that we gravitate to, and that's perfectly fine. That's exactly why there are so many to choose from. But I think that we all want kind of the basic similar feel, I should say basic similar end results, and that is that we want it to have an ease and a comfort, and we also want it to be budget conscious. So with keeping all of those things in mind, I selected some of my favorite pieces from Amazon. So let's dig in and see what I found. So for the first room, what I did is I leaned a little towards like a bohemian vibe. But this room, without accessory placement and without layering it up, can easily start in two different ways. It can either lean towards a bohemian feel with the neutral vibe going, or it can easily go mid-century, and it can also go modern coastal. So no matter wherever you are located and whatever your style direction is preferred, however you finish off the space can absolutely dictate how that room would look. But I think these are great starter pieces for room. They can either be starter pieces for your very first space, or starter pieces for an Airbnb you're creating, or starter pieces for your first condo, your first townhouse that you're buying, kind of thing. I just think overall these are some great fun selections. And I started neutral with the sofa. I thought this was kind of a fun sofa with its interesting lines. It was kind of fun, had a youthful vibe to it. I loved the raised texture to it. It has like almost a boucle vibe. I kept it neutral on the coffee table and the rug. I absolutely fell in love with this coffee table. Now, I will have to say, for those that are not used to spending up towards $500 for a coffee table, I understand, but this is a solid wood piece. It's also 36 in width. Now, watch the width size when you are selecting furniture, because you might fall in love with the piece, but it might also be, 26 inches wide or something like that. So be very careful. Number one, always check your dimensions when you are buying. And that's why we have to go back to that plan your room layout to make sure not only do the pieces fit, but are they working correctly within that space. So going back to my layout number one, I chose the neutral table, a neutral sofa, a really kind of a fun forward vibe for the rug. And I went with these chairs only because I really fell in love with them. They're a great knockoff to a higher end brand. 2 chairs for $550. Yes, they are vegan leather, but I love them. I think that's a great buy. And as I said, these are great starter pieces and can easily be transferred or styled up, layered up into whatever style and vibe you want for that space. I just think these are overall really a great selection. I mean, from Amazon. I mean, how can you go wrong? I think I did the entire room for $2,000. I mean, it's amazing. My second layout that I went for is I leaned a little more classic, but I try to keep it classic modern. So in other words, the modern aesthetic fused with a traditional sofa. This is a classic sofa line. I chose a gray velvet, and the rug I kept neutral with a lot of traditional vibes coming through. And then I once again went with the sphere coffee table because I just kind of fell in love with it, the copper version. And then the same chair in the gray because, let's face it, I just love these chairs. I think they're amazing. But you can also see more chair options that I have selected on my website. So make sure you go to galesstudio.com and go to the header bar and you'll see Amazon favorites, and you'll see all of my selections from Amazon, from the smallest items up to some of the larger pieces like the sofas. So once again, that will be linked below in the description box. But make sure you check out galesstudio.com for all of this information on my particular selections from Amazon. So as we have stated now, the first thing we needed to create were not only the measurements, the room layouts, and then of course go shopping on Amazon. I'd first start out with the links below and then go to the website to get the direct affiliate connections to if you want, or just see more of a cohesive vibe. What else I selected, not just these pieces. But we all have to start out with some of the basics, and those basics consist of sofa, rug, chairs, whether your space can only hold one chair, it can hold two chairs, or maybe even three. So whatever the space can hold, as I said, lay it out first. You must know what that room can hold and cannot hold. And also to make sure that you also keep some very important things in mind when you're laying out a room, and that is wherever you are entering this space, make sure that area is not blocked. So never have, like, if you have a sectional, never have a sectional blocking the actual entrance into that room sitting area. That is a definite no-no. And as I said, we talked about the sizing too, and how important getting the proper sizing is on everything. A lot of people have the option either to go with a rug or not go with a rug. So in other words, if the area is carpeted already, then you're fortunate. You don't need a rug. If you do need a rug, remember rugs are very important to have because they are what they call holding the space. So once again, if you have carpet, that's great. If not, make sure you include a rug because that's really what holds the space for that specific sitting area. Once you have created your sitting area of starter pieces, then start layering up to accent or lighting, accents, wall decor. Those are your next three layers after that. The number one purpose of any room after you are done creating it is that you want a room to pretty much seduce you. You want that room to draw you into that space. Not only do you want the space to draw you in, you want it to distract, you want it to relax, you want to forget about time, but you also need to feel safe, secured, and nurtured. I think those are some really, really great high points to remember when you're creating a space. And if you're not, then we can work together to see what about that space needs to be leveled up. And you can email us any pictures that you'd like, and we do this all for free. So make sure you take advantage of it because I think it's a great free service for you. You're the one that set the style. We're just trying to help you level up and see what about that space is not filling those particular not filling those particular needs. So I think that pretty much covers it for designing your space from the House of Amazon. And like I said, all the links for everything that I selected will be below in the description box. Also, as I said, check out my website, galesstudio.com. As I said, go to the header bar and find all of my Amazon favorites. And one last tip is, anytime that you're buying furniture online, make sure you check out a website called spoken.io. It's just a great source to go to when you're trying to compare, trying to get your best price basically. And I think this is the number one spot to do that. Spoken, and I'll leave that link also below too in my description box. That's spoken.io. And don't forget to check out some of these videos that are recommendations for you, because it continues the dialogue that helps you level up on your space. And until then, we'll talk to you soon.